Hi there guys, my name is David, you are watching VivaLaAutomotive and this is the ultimate London car spotting guide. So if you're coming to London to do a bit of car spotting anytime soon, this is the video for you. Keep on watching up until the end of the video so that you don't miss out on any of the great spots here in London. You can see supercars pretty much anywhere you go here in London, but there are four main areas where most supercars and hypercars are either parked next to the houses or just driving out and about. And these four areas are Mayfair, Belgravia, Knightsbridge and South Kensington. So let's go and have a look at these areas individually. Let's start with Mayfair, because it is my favorite part of London for supercar spotting. It is a good balance of residential areas, hotels and restaurants, and there are always supercars parked up over there. First on the list is the Dorchester Hotel, which is arguably the most legendary hotel here in London. The parking lot in front of it is usually full of supercars. Today it is a random Tuesday afternoon, yet there is still this £4 million Ferrari 275 GTB from the 60s. So this kind of tells you just how special this hotel is and this sort of surrounding area for supercar spotting. As I said, today there is this Ferrari 275 GTB, but in the past I have also seen a McLaren P1, Ferrari, LaFerrari and a bunch of other cars here. The only bad thing about the parking lot in front of the Dorchester is this sort of fencing, which basically makes any good pictures impossible because it's there 24/7. But yeah, the Dorchester Hotel is for sure one of the best places to see hypercars and supercars here in London. Right next to the Dorchester Hotel is this bit more modern looking building, which is a hotel called 45 Park Lane, and there's some parking spots right in front of it where I've once seen, for example, a Bugatti Chiron. If you've ever watched any of my Supercar Sessions episode, you know that that spot right over there, right in the middle of Park Lane here in front of the Dorchester Hotel is probably my favorite spot for supercar spotting here in London, because basically all you need to do is just stand there in the middle of the road and the supercars just pass you from left and right. Park Lane is basically the sort of main road here in central London, so all of the supercars that are going either to Mayfair or Knightsbridge pass through this point over here, and yeah, I just absolutely love it. In my mind, this is the best spot for car spotting in the whole of London. Balfour Mews are also a good place to check here in Mayfair, because if you're lucky you might just see a yellow Ferrari LaFerrari, Ferrari LaFerrari Aperta, Ferrari SF90 or a Ferrari 488 Pista just parked up over in that spot over there. Mount Street is arguably one of the best streets for car spotting here in London, because there are multiple high-end stores and restaurants just scattered around the street over here, such as Scott's in the background over there, and there are enough parking spaces in front of them for a bunch of supercars and hypercars. The Connaught Hotel is another amazing spot here in Mayfair to see supercars, and I absolutely love it because there is this stunning water fountain, and right now there is a Ferrari F8 Tributo over there in the background. But some of the best cars that I've seen over here were the Bugatti Chiron, or what else have I seen here? Honestly, I don't even remember, but I've for sure seen some cool cars just parked up right in front of this hotel right over there. Here you can kind of see the water fountain, and over there in the background is of course the F8 Tributo, which I've seen at the exact same spot a few months ago. So if you haven't seen that Supercar Sessions episode, go and watch it right now, or maybe just after you finish watching this video. The last hotel that is worth checking out here in Mayfair is the JW Marriott Grosvenor House, but honestly I don't really like it all that much because there is parking in the courtyard, but they don't really allow you to take pictures or videos in the courtyard. So yeah, you can see the cars, but you can't really record them or take any pictures. Berkeley Square is another supercar hotspot because there's the HRO and Ferrari dealership just in the background over there, as well as the HRO and Bugatti dealership. So you might just be able to see some Bugattis or Ferraris parked around the perimeter of the square over here. I remember back in December I was just walking past here on a random Monday afternoon, and I've managed to see a Bugatti Veyron Supersport. So that's the kind of cars that are parked up here around Berkeley Square. And just passing me right now as we're speaking is the new Ferrari 812 Superfast. Or is it new? It's not really all that new, but anyway, it's a black Ferrari 812 Superfast. And here we have got the predecessor to the Superfast, the 812, not the 812, the F12 finished in black over here. Next up is Belgravia, which is together with Mayfair probably my favorite neighborhood. It is more residential and there generally aren't too many restaurants, but it has beautiful, huge white houses in front of which you can find street parked supercars. Another spot is here on Hyde Park Corner, where there's this massive roundabout which connects Mayfair with Knightsbridge. However, I don't really like it all that much for supercar spotting because there is so much traffic all the time. As you can see right behind me, the traffic is not moving at all. There are too many lanes and too many people, so if there are any supercars driving around, you can't really see them because they're just hidden behind the buses and the vans that are driving around here. I mean, just look at the congestion here. The traffic is not moving, and this is literally only 1 week after the lockdown finished here in the UK. Imagine what it's going to be like over the summer. Belgrave Square is the supercar hotspot here in Belgravia because it is right in the center of the neighborhood and it connects pretty much all the roads. So wherever you're going in Belgravia, you need to pass this square over here. There are many embassies around here, but usually cars are just driving past, so they're not usually parked up. Just recently I've seen the Ferrari SF90 Stradale parked over here. And what else have I seen here? Just a bunch of other cars, a McLaren P1 in the past as well. Quick reminder guys, if you're finding this video useful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. 97% of you are not subscribed and I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so please just click that red subscribe button. Thank you very much. Chester Square is another little garden hidden here in Belgravia with this beautiful church here as well. And if you're lucky enough, you can stumble across a black Porsche Carrera GT, McLaren Senna, McLaren 675 LT or other cars parked around here. Just around the corner from Chester Square, which is right there, is Elizabeth Street, which has got this beautiful pavement and some parking spots where supercars might be parked up. EATON Square is another great spot to check here in Belgravia because you can find, for example, this Ferrari 488 Pista just parked up over here on the street. No, but in all honesty, there is another Ferrari 488 Pista Spider which is parked around here pretty much all year round. I didn't really expect to see this car. I've never seen this car before, but there is another 488 Pista or a 599 GTO which I have seen parked somewhere around here many times before. One thing that you have to do when you're in Belgravia is you always have to check the news because there's so many garages and in many of them there are supercars and hypercars parked inside. This happened to me a couple of months ago where I found a completely random Bugatti Veyron just parked up in Mews in Knightsbridge. I was honestly too lazy to stop by some of the hotels in Belgravia because this video took longer to make than expected. But let me introduce you to the hotels of Belgravia right now in this form of a fancy voiceover. So first of all, we have got the Park Tower Hotel, which is this rather not nice looking hotel, presumably from the 70s. It has got a parking right behind it though, where I've once seen a Bugatti Chiron and a Lamborghini Aventador SV. Next is the Berkeley, which is owned by the Prince of Qatar, who sometimes parks his incredible hypercar collection right in front of it. So I think that he parked there his LaFerrari, his Bugattis, his 918 P1 and all these other cars. Berkeley is also great because it has these fancy, beautiful Christmas lights. Lanesborough, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, is a hotel right next to Hyde Park Corner. It is a nice entrance and a few parking spots where I've seen a Porsche GT2 RS or a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ 63 edition in the past. I think that last year there was also a Ferrari F50 over there. Lastly, we've got the Wellesley, where I haven't seen any cool cars in ages, but back in 2016 there was a Ferrari LaFerrari and a Porsche 918 combo parked right in front of it, so I had to include it in today's list. Knightsbridge is also a great part of London for supercar spotting, but I'm not really a fan of the red brick architecture in this neighborhood. Knightsbridge is also home to two supercar spotting meccas, if that makes sense, Sloane Street and Harrods. Sloane Street is one of the more well-known streets for supercar spotting here in London because for many years it has been the mecca, the hub of the supercar shenanigans here in London. This has kind of stopped recently because new noise cameras have been installed, so if you have a loud exhaust you probably get fined pretty much instantly. And I'm not really the biggest fan of spotting here on Sloane Street because it is basically just a bunch of young guys driving their C63 Mercedes cars extremely aggressively. So yeah, not really my thing, but in the past I have seen, for example, the Koenigsegg 121 or the McLaren P1 driving on this street behind me. Cadogan Square is this quiet residential area here in Knightsbridge where most of the time you're not really going to see anything, but if you're lucky you can also see a completely random street park Lamborghini Murcielago SV which was parked over on that spot just yesterday. Walton Street is another great spot, not really sure why, but there's usually a lot of supercars driving up and down the street over the weekends. The area around Harrods is another supercar spotting staple because it is probably the most expensive department store here in London, and it's usually surrounded by cars owned by Arabs, such as this Rolls-Royce right behind me. So if you want to see chrome-wrapped Aventadors from Dubai or Qatar or Porsche 918s, Harrods is the place to go. I remember that Basel Street was once dubbed the supercar alley because there was a bunch of traffic usually coming down here over to Sloane Street. And I remember back in 2016, I've seen my first Porsche 918 just driving through traffic over here. But there's been construction going on for the past like 2 or 3 years. So yeah, Basel Street is no longer the supercar alley, but maybe in the future it might be a good spot for supercar spotting. Brompton Road is this long road leading all the way down to South Kensington. You can see Harrods over there, and it is another great road for supercar spotting because there's just traffic going through here and there, and yeah, you can just see a bunch of cars. I've seen a Koenigsegg 121 here once, and probably some other cars as well. I honestly didn't even realize how much construction is going on here in Knightsbridge nowadays. I mean, there's construction going on over there, over there, over there, pretty much everywhere. Here in Knightsbridge there is also the McLaren dealership, so you can just do a bit of window shopping. See a McLaren GT over there, 720S parked right behind it. The Bulgari hotel right behind me is one of those spots where most of the time you're not going to see absolutely anything, but every once in a while there's going to be an insane hypercar parked right in front of it. So for example, last year I've seen Aubameyang's Ferrari LaFerrari, and a few years back I've seen a combo of a Porsche 918 and a Ferrari F12 TDF. Same as with the Bulgari hotel, you pretty much never see anything parked here in front of the Mandarin Oriental. But last year I've seen the ultra rare Lamborghini Veneno parked right over there, so I had to include it on today's list. And lastly, we have got South Kensington, which is a weird one, honestly. There are a lot of supercars in South Ken, but it is also huge, and there aren't any specific spots where supercars would park, so it can be very difficult and time-consuming to find them. To be completely honest, there aren't really any specific spots which are great for supercar spotting in South Kensington, but the whole neighborhood is just super expensive, and it has got equally expensive cars parked inside of it. I'm just not able to point out where exactly they would be parked. 2 special spots in South Kensington that I am going to mention are the Ferrari dealership and the Lamborghini dealership, because there's usually some cool cars parked around there. So yeah, these are the best spots and areas to see supercars in London according to me. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list, so if you know about any other cool areas, locations and spots here in London, let me know about them in the comments below. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more automotive content. As I said, 97% of you watching are not subscribed, so just click that red subscribe button. I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you next time.